What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Yee Yee Podcast, episode 53, and we are taking pills.
Yep. It's this bottle we found in the parking lot. It's the label was ripped off, had someone's name on it, but it's kind of fun. No, it's actually ibuprofen.
So Parker needed this, and then we just all started taking it.
I went with no caffeine today, and I'm starting to feel the headache come on, which not a good sign if you are getting actual withdrawal from caffeine. But apparently Paul, who edits The Smiths, has this generic medicine. He doesn't have Tylenol or ibuprofen.
He's a big generic guy.
It's just a great value brand of headache. It's just called headache relief.
What are some things that y'all refuse to buy the generic brand of?
Toilet paper. You can't skip out on toilet paper.
That's a good one.
I will say you can get good like Costco brand toilet paper though.
Yeah, but Costco's an anomaly because Costco and Sam's just kind of crush everything they do, especially Costco. Like,
do you have memberships there?
No.
Either of those?
No.
I've never been a Sam's Club guy.
Me neither. I like Costco.
I guess I've known a few friends who do it, and they just swear by it. They're like, yeah, I got 25 jars of peanut butter for 25 cents off.
I refuse to do. I refuse to skip. Well, I guess it's not really generic brand, but I refuse to skimp on meats. Like in a perfect world, if I had all the money in the world, I would go down to the butcher shop every Monday or something, like a local butcher shop, and get the top tier meat. But for now, I just refuse to buy some meat at certain places, and I do prefer to get my meat. I actually like H-E-B. H-E-B does pretty good, but like Central Market is a spinoff of H-E-B, and they're great, but they're not really around here where we're at. You have to go into Austin. But Whole Foods is always good for meat. But other stuff, I'm like, it really doesn't matter, especially medicine. Like that medicine.
It's all the same.
If you're going to buy a good steak, do most people go, can you get a good steak at an H-E-B or your local grocery store? Or do more people have a local meat shop that has the good stuff?
I don't think a lot of small towns probably have like a butcher shop. We did growing up, but it was a town of 3,000 or so. But I don't think it lasted. I think it closed after we graduated. I don't know. I mean, here in Georgetown, we've got a couple butcher shops, and they're really good meat. But if it's like that's if I'm having people over or something. If I'm entertaining. If it's just a regular grocery pickup, I'm just going to H-E-B.
I was gonna say I need to get a charcoal grill, but the woman I'm marrying doesn't eat beef, so I guess I'll just be cooking for me when she's out of town.
Oh, dude, you got to get a grill. I just got one. It's still in the box, though. It's been in the box for a week.
Do you want me to build it?
I will say, building grills sucks. And
it's terrible.
So Taylor and I moved in together like 3 or 4 months ago, and she's just been ordering so much crap. And I'm like, well, this is the rest of my life. I just get to build stuff forever. And some stuff's really easy. And then some stuff, it's so funny how time is a flat circle. I remember holding the flashlight and holding screwdrivers and everything else for my dad growing up while he cursed about, well, he didn't curse, but while he complained about like foreign made products. And now I'm doing the exact same, except I don't have a helper to like hold the flashlight for me. So
my dad totally cursed when he did.
Really?
That's how I learned all the no words back.
My dad would only do that if he got his hand stuck in something or whatever.
Yeah. Let's back it up, though. You said that this is how it's going to be forever. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what happened this weekend? A lot of people were asking where you were at last week.
We're going to have 3 Yee weddings in a matter of less than a year. I was thinking about that.
So you're getting married.
I did propose.
What did she say?
What's his name again?
She said sure.
She said sure.
I like that. Let's back that up. I like that.
Was on April Fool's Day.
Oh, that's a big one.
So y'all have heard a lot of this, but I guess listeners haven't. So whenever I was really looking at dates, I wanted to be engaged by a certain date whenever we go on a family trip with her family. I didn't want to like hijack the trip. We're going to the Bahamas. I didn't want to hijack that and kind of make it about, I felt like that would be making it about me and us, and I didn't want to do that. And so I wanted to do it before that trip in May, but I started looking. This is just that busy time of the year where it's like every weekend it's just, there's something going on. It's like, okay, I guess I have to do it this weekend because her family and mine, they're both available. And then I started looking. I said, oh, no, this is on April Fool's Day. Like, this is going to be terrible. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was obviously awesome, and she knew it wasn't a joke. But after it was all said and done, she said that she should have said no, and then just immediately been like, April Fools. Like, no, I think I would have taken the ring back if you did that. I don't think I would have been interested anymore.
So how'd you do it?
Did it in San Diego, which is where she's from. Right on the beach, like on this little cliff that overlooked the beach, and her parents lived nearby, so we walked there. We told her that we were going to lunch, and so that she should get dressed up at this nicer place, and we ended up getting in the ride over there, and then we pulled up to this random park that's right by their house, and her dad said, oh, I want to take a picture. Let's take a picture. We're all dressed up, and which is immediately a little bit of a red flag, because just knowing her dad, he would never want to do that. And this is a park that they live right by and we go to all the time when we're in town. And so we stopped there, and my parents were waiting. We had Skylar he took pictures. Skylar helped with the winter launch, one of Brian's friends. So yeah, it was good. And then we had way too much fun all weekend. And so I've been recovering a little bit ever since, but yeah.
Do you say you have a callus on your thumb from opening beers?
I have a cat. So what happens is the skin the skin behind your fingernail starts to break on your thumb whenever you've shotgunned too many beers. And this morning I was like, well, it is fully broken. I probably don't need to drink any beer for a little bit.
So that's specifically from shotgunning. That's not just opening up.
Yeah, I thought it was from the pop tab.
It's from a little bit of both, because I usually get it only whenever I'm shotgunning, but I didn't shotgun too many beers this weekend, actually. In fact, I think
Not too many.
Me neither.
I only did a couple. Yeah, you actually may have done more than me. I only did one or two. So I don't know.
We're tied.
What it came from. Okay.
One.
Well, one or two. Or we tied at one, or we tied at two.
We're tied at one.
Okay. Then I probably did one more than you. But yeah, it's really hurting. So I had to put some ointment on it.
Do you speaking of thumbs, do you open up a can? Do you open up a can with your thumb or with your pointer finger and middle finger? Or
Like
I'm a thumb guy.
I'm a thumb.
I'm a thumb guy as well. So
Really?
obviously you can tell.
I used to always use my thumb, and then I got made fun of, and everyone said that you're supposed to do it like this and pull the wrist toward you. The top of your fingers come toward you rather than the opposite way. Those listening and not on YouTube.
You are. I don't know how to
I'll be
drink,
so
so.
Responsibly.
Or you just shake it and hit yourself over the head with it, like our friend Connor.
Yeah.
What would
Until
shaking
it
your butt do?
punctures
with
it.
That's called
everything?
Okay, so that is actually called frumbling. Whenever you shake the beer, and then you just hit your forehead with it, and there's so much pressure that it pops. And then you drink it, but you only get about a quarter of the beer. So it's the least useful
horrible.
way ever.
Optional addition to that is if you're on the beach and a jellyfish has washed up onto the shore, you can put the jellyfish in your mouth, hit the beer over your head, and then eat the jellyfish while chugging the beer. Connor Albright did that.
You watched it happen?
In Gulf Shores. I was not there for it, but he has a video on his phone.
Have y'all ever gotten stung by a jellyfish?
I have
think
when I was
so.
like 12.
You know what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
Did you do it?
No.
Dude, my buddy one time, well, actually, it's my brother. He got stung by a jellyfish, and I was like, I'll do it. Like, wait, do what? I was like, I'll pee on him. I don't care. I'll pee on his foot, because he was just walking on the beach, and he stepped on like it was almost dead, and he was like, ah! And he was little. I was like, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll pee on his leg.
Was that in Florida?
Yeah, we were young. It was a long, long time ago, but I did. Peed on his leg. It was awesome. Yeah, what do you want to talk about now?
I don't know. My mind just went completely blank.
Well, I mean,
for the last.
I think whenever we've
30
gotten
minutes.
a little bit lax, because we've had so many engagements that we're like, oh, we'll just talk about that, because this is now the third one in a matter of a year of doing this podcast. But then you just remember that it's like 5 minutes of talking.
We should have Taylor on the podcast.
Yeah, we should.
How long? Would she want to do it? Do you think she'd do it if you asked?
I don't know. We were talking about this. I mean, this is getting a little bit more serious, but like, did you and Amy have this conversation? Because as we grow and we do more content, like, I love doing content. I enjoy it, obviously, as you can tell. But there's a guy there's a guy in sports that I really follow, that works for Barstool. His name's Big Cat, and it's crazy. he does content all the time. Like he does all kinds of, one of the biggest voices on social media, and no one knows. You can find a couple pictures of his wife, but no one really knows what she looks like. No one knows what his kids look like. I think he has 2 kids now. So it's kind of crazy. I never want to be like that. And then obviously people know, like I've posted of Taylor, so people know what she looks like and everything. But there's just at some point, I feel like at some point there's a line, like she actually doesn't approve any, her Instagram's on private, and she doesn't approve any friend requests of people that she doesn't know. And she says, I know that it's important to you to like build that, and it's important to the brand for your profile and all of our profiles, but at some point, like there's got to be a line, and which I totally understand and totally support, and I'm okay with that. I actually love that. But like after I proposed, I think she said she had like 90 new friend requests on Instagram, and that's already on top of the like 300 or something that she's had from just, I've been here coming up on 3.5 years now, and so we've been dating that entire time, so people know who she is or have like seen her out at shows and stuff.
They say keep it private until it's permanent. So
never heard that.
Now it's permanent.
Well, it's not permanent for another year until we actually get married.
That's true. So how long have you been planning this engagement? How long have you
good question.
sat on this secret?
Wait, real quick. Did you and Amy have that conversation about like content and what was too much?
I was looking up a Big Cat to see if there's even a picture of his wife online.
That's the only picture, and she has sunglasses, and that's probably like 7 or 8 years old.
It's interesting.
By the way, if the line was 1,000 comments below with saying I want Taylor, could we do that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We get 1,000 comments on this podcast.
If we get 1,000 comments that say, I'll still have to clear it with her because like she's her own person. Yeah, if there's 1,000 comments on this podcast, I'll talk to her about it.
Okay,
and we can talk about it. What? So did y'all have that conversation, you and Amy?
Yeah, this Granger and Amber have already incorporated her on the Smiths a little bit, and then I put some of the behind the scenes of our engagement on one of the episodes, and Granger really wants her on there a lot, and she is kind of like, I'll do it if they want me to, but I don't know if I would want our kids to grow up with cameras 24/7 and that sort of thing. But I don't know I'm not saying like yes or no, but it's something to be aware of, like you said. And it's not like I'm going to keep her off of social media and stuff, but she already doesn't have an Instagram, which already just helps with that, with weeding that out.
It's totally a conversation you have to have, because there's like this point where it has helped Granger's brand. Of course, Granger's on another level, obviously, than any of us, but it has helped Granger's brand for Amber to grow hers, and then it's helped her for him to include, like, everyone eats, like everyone benefits from that, and it grows us, everything. But at some point, it's like you got to have your personal, like that's the thing with Yee Nation Facebook group. It's almost, what is it, like 400,000 now?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, so it's almost at 400,000, and we like fell, butt backwards into that. We didn't think that was going to grow like it has, but for me, there's a line, like my Facebook. I don't care if you follow me on Instagram, but my Facebook is that's my friends, where I keep up with people that I know personally. And it's no offense to anyone that I don't know personally, but at some point there's got to be a line. And one thing that a lot of people know in that group is, because like I'm an admin, you're an admin, you get the same messages I do, but a lot of people will message, and there's some really messages that I can't help you with. And then there's sometimes people say, hey, I haven't seen my order. It shows that it shipped, 3 weeks ago and I haven't gotten it yet. Like, very valid emails. And that's why we try to set up all the stuff, like, email store at yeapparel.com, like customer service. We try to do all that. And I just decided I'm not going to respond to those. And I hate that. But at some point, I have to have somewhat of a line. And for the most part, if you message me on Instagram, even if it is order related, I will try to help out. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of where I keep that
so
type
there's
of
the
stuff.
Secret.
Yeah. I respond and see every single Instagram one. Facebook, I see as well, but I don't always respond. So yeah, what was your question?
How long have you been planning this engagement, and like how long have you sat on the secret?
So, well, I've been looking at rings for a really long time, and I'm the type. We were talking about how Parker and I are so different whenever it comes to not just this, like purchasing anything. Parker has always been the type that's like, let's get it done. Like, I feel like you would rather pay a premium for stuff. I don't want this to sound bad. I grew up searching for, and it's not always good. The other day I searched for a deal on a grill for like weeks, and then I ended up saving like $30.
Time is money.
Like, that was stupid. Why? I spent hours, you know. At some point it's like, is your time that valuable? And I was kind of starting to feel like that with the ring, because there are no deals in diamonds. Like, you're just not going to really find a deal. I actually ended up finding one, and mine was on the market for like 30 minutes, the stone, and I just snagged it because I knew it was a good deal. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew what she wanted. And I knew that I knew what a deal was. And so I found this one. It was barely on the market. I called the guy, and he had been working with me, and he was like, I was about to message you this one. Like, this one's an awesome ring. This is exactly what you want. So I got that, but then it took like over a month to come in. And I got it when we were on his bachelor trip on the Friday. It came in on Friday, and I sent it to their office in Austin. I didn't send it to my house, obviously. And so then whenever I got back, I went and picked it up. Then I had a flight planned to go to San Diego to ask her parents for their hand and asking their daughter to spend forever with me. And that was actually more nerve-wracking than doing it, because I knew she was going to say yes. We've had this conversation. We've like planned for the future for a while. But asking her parents was a little bit nerve-wracking. And I went through all of the different questions that they could ask, and that they should, you know, it's their daughter. They deserve to ask those questions. And it didn't exactly go how I planned, just because they were so excited. And I think they knew it was coming. We've been dating. We're coming up on 5 years. So, you know, it was time. And I would have done this a long time ago, but we've been doing like long distance. She lived in Fort Worth for the last couple years whenever I took this job down here. So she finally moved down to Georgetown. And so it was really hard to keep it a secret, though. And we had all this planning, like, for this event, you know, whenever I proposed. And of course, everyone was in on it. My parents flew into San Diego, and they don't like fly a ton. So there was so much I wanted to tell her about, but I couldn't. So I ended up keeping like a journal of the entire experience so I could share it with her after, because you just forget.
Yeah.
What is it? The quote about, the years are long and the days are fast. Mm-hmm. I love that quote. And it's like, one day you're going to look back and forget what you did on, you know, March 18th, 2022. But in reality, that was a really huge day, because I was planning different stuff or whatever. So I'm not really a journaler. I used to. You guys, you're way better about that. All the Smith brothers are, but they've kind of taught me a little bit about that, and I see them doing that, and I want to. So I started with this, and I was like, this will be a good memory to keep, you know, forever. So
Granger is obsessed with recording every day of his life, and then being able to look back, and he'll screenshot it. His favorite thing is screenshot Tyler and I and say, look at this, 4 years ago today. Can you believe that? Just the most random things.
Just the memories.
It's cool to have. It's so easy to forget, like the little details. I think about this. I don't have kids yet, but I'm sure as a parent it just completely changes. But even with like my dog, you know, it's like he's 9 years old now, Cooper. A lot of you guys know him. And it's like, I don't know, some beagles live to be 11 or 12, some live to be 15 or 16, but I know that he's definitely on the back half of his life, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that, and he still gets around great and everything, but I try to cherish those times a little bit more, whether it's taking a picture, whether it's, you know, used to, I would go on a weekend trip, and now I'm like, well, how many more of these do I have, you know? I actually met at the engagement party, there was someone that had a beagle that recently passed, and she wanted to see all the pictures of mine, one of Taylor's family friends. Zoe was her name, but she lived to be 15. I was like, if I can get that out of Cooper 15 years, 6 more from now, that would be awesome. He'd probably meet my kids, or, you know, at least a couple of my kids, depending on how many I have. We're not getting there yet, but so yeah, it's exciting.
Tonight's the end of March Madness, right?
Oh, dude.
Who do y'all think's winning?
Dude, I don't care, because
I asked that question not knowing who was playing.
So actually, who are they? Oh, Kansas. Who do they play?
Yeah,
so it's Kansas and North Carolina.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Duke North Carolina game was on at. By the way, we never followed up on our bet. A few
People
episodes.
did comment about that, by the way, on the last episode. They said Hayden was hiding the last episode because.
Did you say we never followed up, meaning you never paid him?
No, I paid him.
Okay.
As soon as it happened,
he did pay me as soon as it happened.
I mean, literally the last second, I just got on. I was like, Venmo'd Parker $100. It was like, I was so mad about it. I knew I'd forget if I didn't. I don't really care, because Coach K's out. He's done.
you're
He
just
can no
made him
longer
money.
hurt me.
You know what? I think Texas Tech wore them down when you think about it.
Well, the thing about that game was, not to get too sports focused because none of our listeners really care, but Texas Tech, like, they just hit all their shots the last 3 or 4 minutes. Like, Tech's a better team than Duke. They are. But there could not, if you're familiar, Duke and North Carolina, they played in the Final Four. That's one of the biggest rivalries in sports. Those two schools are like 15 minutes away, I think, and they hate each other. And so it was perfect that North Carolina was the one that ended Duke's career, or that ended Coach K's career and ended Duke's season.
I do have Kansas winning the whole thing, but it doesn't. I don't.
There you go.
In your bracket?
Yeah, I don't think anything.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Have you looked, or are we good on time?
Yeah.
Have you looked at because we did that EE bracket challenge, have you looked to see like what the top bracket is?
No, but I can right now.
Not that it really matters, but
I wish that there was money
Nothing
involved
really
with
matters
us in the
anymore.
office.
no, there is. Whoever has the best bracket wins $100.
In this office?
I didn't even
Mhm.
make it a bracket.
I told you to make a bracket because it's a free $100. I said if you don't
Free.
make a bracket, it's
there's
EE
no
paying
buy-in.
for it. Yeah, there's no buy-in.
True.
Someone named Yes Sir
There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
Yes, sir.
is currently the number one.
So who's the number one out of us?
Wait, did Yezer
yeah.
pick the national championship? Did they pick North Carolina? Wow. See, because North Carolina's an 8 seed. That was. I mean,
That's
they're a
big.
dark horse.
Yeah,
Even though they are North Carolina, they haven't been great this year.
maybe they're from one of the
They
Carolinas.
probably are.
If you're listening, Yes Sir, please tell us.
Wait, is it yes
if
sir?
you're from Carolina.
Is it yes sir with S's or Z's?
It's just one S, but that's just kind of how I read it
Yes,
every
sir.
time I type. Yes, sir. All together.
Yeah, I think Kansas is going to win tonight. I think North Carolina's had an incredible run, but I think Kansas is going to win. I wonder what they're favored by. I haven't even looked it up. All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
All right, y'all. Want to do Listener of the Week?
This is my favorite part of the episode.
It's mine as well. This week's Listener of the Week is brought to you by Yee Jerky. Go get you some. Yee.com.
We got a new flavor coming out soon.
We do. But this
We've
is...
announced it, right?
Yeah.
That was a
no.
big ad spot for that company.
Yeah.
I know,
How much
right?
do you think they paid for that?
Probably like a free bag of jerky.
Yeah, I just ate some in the hallway. Before I reveal the name, I'm requesting a drum roll from you, Parker.
Can you read the comment first?
Yes. So, this week's Listener of the Week said, I love the memes you guys come up with. Instagram. Laughing emoji. Laughing emoji.
Wow, that's why you picked him.
Her. It is Brooke Hobbs.
Yeah, Brooke.
Brooke!
Thank you.
Mrs. Hobbs.
Ben, you're starting to get a little cocky.
Why's that?
I just love how the comment that you picked for the podcast for the Listener of the Week was just basically a compliment of you.
Well,
Since you make our memes.
well,
Unbiased.
That was
I
random
did
selection.
screenshot
Randomly
one that
selected.
was very positive about you, Hayden, but I decided not to go with
I don't
it.
want to hear it. It'll go to my head. I didn't even look at the comments from last week's.
That's okay.
Okay, I got a question. We were looking at Reddit for some different topics. I want to ask you guys this, but I've just lost it. What is an unpopular food opinion that you have? Wait, hold on. Let me say that one more time in case we splice this up for a TikTok. Ignore this. What is an unpopular food opinion that you each have?
Okay, so mine is kind of weird, and I realized this last weekend, but I just think peanut butter smells horrible. And everyone around me thought that was the craziest thing, but I really don't like the smell of it.
Interesting. Do you like the taste of it?
No. It's hard for me to eat stuff that I don't like the smell of.
Well, I think that's true for anyone because a lot of taste is smell.
Mm-hmm.
Science.
So there's mine.
Okay. What do you got, Ben?
Pineapple belongs on pizza.
Pineapple belongs in a lot of different things, actually. I've been trying pineapple in my stir fry.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great
And
right
it's
there.
fantastic with broccoli, fried
Yeah.
rice, chicken, teriyaki sauce, and pineapple.
Yeah. So is just no one gonna argue with that?
No, I like that.
Wow.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm gonna change mine. It's gonna be pineapple does not belong on pizza.
Taking the hot take.
Wait, does it or does it not?
I don't order it.
But are you like gonna look down upon people if they do?
Yes, I'm gonna judge.
Really? See, I think with food, it's like whatever brings you happiness, you should do it. Like, do I go out of my way to put pineapple on pizza? No, but it doesn't affect me.
I don't think you should have the right to tell someone what they should like to eat and what they shouldn't like to eat.
My
What about
phrase has
parents to
always.
kids?
Well, that's different.
So I've got a thought
vegetables.
on that as well. Like, you know how, because your palate does change as you get older, and you like things that you used to not like. Maybe the vice versa. I think at some point, like, my parents used to always try to make me eat green beans. I didn't really like green beans as a kid, but no kids do. And then I got older, and I still didn't really like green beans. It's like, I am 27 years old. Maybe I just don't like green beans, and I'm not gonna like green beans. You know.
But you eat them for the nutrition.
My hot take is lasagna sucks. I hate lasagna.
I agree.
Yeah.
Everyone freaks out about
Do you
it.
like pasta?
I think it's
I
overrated.
do. Italian's my favorite type of food, but I feel like lasagna is what like white people in America try to do to make Italian food, but it's not. I think the same thing about spaghetti.
What do you not like about it? Just the texture?
I don't like the texture. I think
a
it's
little,
too much.
It's a little cream cheesy.
kinda hard to eat
It's almost like
sometimes.
a
It just
cheese
falls apart.
pie rather
Yeah.
than like fresh noodles and.
I'd rather have like an Italian casserole than a lasagna.
Were you all the type of kids that when you would come home from school and you'd open the door and you could immediately smell that something was being made in the crock pot, and it was just like a downer to your day?
Now
that-
I love it, but I
yeah.
used to hate it.
Yeah.
I hate when my mom makes dinner for me. Comes home to a hot meal.
I know.
It's the
No,
worst,
it's just
isn't it,
it's just the crock pot for some reason.
We were never a crockpot family.
Wow.
I don't know what it's
Jealous.
like.
Okay. Oh, and another one that I have. Anchovies are really good.
No, you should be arrested.
Well, you've probably had canned
Anchovies
anchovies.
and Caesar salad. Anchovies. I
Dude.
saw someone had anchovies on pizza.
I had
That's
it.
unacceptable.
I had it this weekend. Anchovies in a
Get outta
salad,
here.
and it was grilled salad too.
I don't
It's
think
awesome.
I've ever had an anchovy.
It's really good, but don't get the canned
I don't
anchovies.
think
Okay.
I have
I'm
either.
not a big meat and can guy.
Well,
If any meats coming
Yeah,
from
meats
a
and
can.
cans.
Tyler used to
Yeah,
just
I
eat
agree.
tuna out of a can.
No.
Just
It's another thing that smells bad.
I have one more food-related hot take as well, in that it's just that pasta is terrible. If you have to,
That's the worst take that we've had yet.
let me explain myself.
Coming from Boston.
Let me explain myself. So,
so dramatic.
are you gonna let me talk?
Spit it out.
So, if you have to put sauce on something to make it taste better, then it's probably a terrible food. So pasta, would you ever just boil pasta, strain it out, put it in a little bowl or on a plate, and then eat it? No.
So like,
because it is terrible.
What's your opinion on like? Do you like potatoes?
Yeah.
You have to do stuff with potatoes. You can't just like boil a potato, or you can't just like. You have to put
I
something
agree.
on that. Okay, what about bread? Would you just put a bread in the toaster and then just eat it? You have to do something with it. But do you think bread's bad?
Bread's a little different because, like, think about like a dinner roll. You would eat that.
I think most food is just a vessel for sauce. It's just a different form for us to
I'm
eat
okay
the
with
sauce.
that.
But like, think
Sauce is the
about
flavor.
depending like the kind of restaurant you go to, like a steak or something like that. Some might be all sauced up, but you get a really, really nice cut of meat. It might be salt and pepper on it. You really
It's got
don't do much with it.
marinade.
Yeah, you can't compare steak to pasta.
Well, that's my point. Pasta is terrible and steak is great.
So I
do
guess you don't like Italian.
Do you like
food.
sauce, like
Interesting.
Italian sauce?
I'll allow
or
it.
Meat sauce.
I do like sauce, yeah.
If you
But-
had, okay, wait, hold on, I got one. If you had the Earth's attention for, if you had the Earth, everyone on the Earth's entire attention.
All right,
for,
we're done with pasta.
Sorry, this one's really good. If you had everyone on the Earth's entire attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
I would
I don't have a good answer for this, but I thought y'all may.
That's tough.
tell them about Jesus.
30 seconds. Give me. It's like an elevator pitch, basically.
Yep.
Like if you did world peace, that would be. Like that'd be so cliche. I'd tell them about Yee Apparel. Because if I told the world about Yee Apparel, every single person, you got to think the conversion rate out of that 1%. We get 1% customers.
1% of 7 billion.
That's a lot of yee. I mean, we would actually fold as a company.
70
We would
million.
never be able to finish.
We wouldn't be able to fulfill
We'd have
those
to
orders.
change those
We-
orders to like
Yeah,
3-4
the
months.
banner would just be like, oh yeah, please expect your order in 11 months.
What 1% of 7 billion is what?
70 million.
70 million orders.
Wait, I have one. Hold on.
It's a lot of shipping.
What is something? It can't be religion. What is something that you believe in?
I mean, that would take us 3 years.
No, it would take us longer than that.
70 million.
Please, 70
Please allow
million?
3 to 5 years. 3
to
process.
Due to an influx in orders from being able to speak to everyone in the world for 30 seconds, we are currently a little backed up. We would start having to pay shippers an ridiculous amount.
We would just say, come ship your own order at that point.
True.
You have to come pick it up.
We'll pay you to come pick it up. What's something not religion? Wait, where'd it go? Oh, what's something not religious that you believe in that most others don't? So I guess it could be like a conspiracy theory, or it could be.
Jesus.
I think most people believe in a higher power. I wonder if you polled 7 billion people, how many believe in a higher power? You think it'd be more than half? Surely,
Conversion
right?
rate on that's got to be higher.
Conversion rate's going to be way higher on that, yeah. Probably like 60%.
What was the question?
What's a conspiracy theory that you believe in?
I'm a big birds are not real guy.
If you're listening to this and if you have not seen
Just go
the
dove hunting,
Instagram
you'll
account, go to Instagram's. There's an Instagram account called Birds Aren't Real, and obviously birds are real, but it's an incredible thought process to this. They sell a ton of merch, by the way. I kind of want a shirt. I don't know what.
I think there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that are interesting to listen to and read into, but I don't know.
Have you ever seen the one that there's a lot of this, but there's different forms of it, but that we're living in a simulation, and a lot of people think that you've already gone through everything that you're going through. I don't believe in it, but it's one of those that's really interesting. The easier ones to think about are aliens, Bigfoot, different stuff like that. Do you believe in aliens?
I don't know.
Do you believe in something out there that's not? It doesn't have to be intelligent, but do you believe that there's even a bacteria way out there?
Different. Sure.
There has to be.
I think so too.
I don't know.
Parker?
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I don't think so.
You don't
think so?
even think
I don't
there's
think there's anything.
some kind of algae on a
Nah,
different planet.
I don't think so.
Because there's lakes and stuff
Have
like
y'all
that
seen
on
the
different
Bob Lazar?
planets.
Dude, we should
You
go
have,
to another planet for my
Netflix.
bachelor trip.
Let's do it.
We go to Mars.
Let
Bob
me call
Lazar is
NASA
insane.
real
Yeah,
quick.
that whole story is weird.
Bob Lazar is insane. Is that Area 51?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all really incredible. Bigfoot.
And basically, he came out and said that while working at Area 51, he saw some questionable stuff like aliens, and he knew it would ruin his career, but he spoke out about it.
But then he waited but he also got a lot of money from that. So it's ruined his career, but now he gets booked for $100,000 at a speaking engagement.
true.
So
It
So it's
ruined his
just-
old career.
Yeah.
I've listened to him before. There's a lot of stuff he says that makes sense, but it just makes you wonder. Okay, what are we gonna do for fantasy rankings? Or are we gonna go to break real quick, or you want to roll?
Let's just do it.
What is our fantasy rankings for this week?
Our fantasy rankings is most top whatever awkward moments.
Life's most awkward moments.
Most awkward
Life's
moments.
okay.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Life's most awkward moments.
And so we each get to pick 3. And
Brian,
once-
why don't you go last? We'll start with Ben, and we'll go this way.
Once one is picked, then it is off the board and no one else can use it. Go for it.
Thank you, Brian. My number 1 pick, I got to go.
This is getting real goofy. These are getting worse and worse.
My number 1 pick for most awkward situations is going to be thinking someone said hi to you in public, but they were actually waving to someone behind you.
Yeah, that's got to be number 1.
It's a common one, and it's said a lot now, but it really does happen fairly often. And there's just not much worse feelings of just, I feel really dumb right now when that happens. It happened to me just the other day.
Yeah. What's even worse
I gave
is
him
when
the old white guy
the
pursed lips nod.
Yeah.
Yep. Single nod.
What's even worse is when you're like with like someone else and you think someone's waving at you and you're like, oh, hey. But then they're waving to someone behind you, and then you realize, and your friend also realizes, and they're like, oh, I saw that. And it's like, you just feel so much more ashamed because you know someone saw.
Yeah. It's the best whenever no one sees. And you're like, well, I will not tell
like,
anyone about that.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. All right, Parker, what you got?
Let's see. What do I want to use first? I'm going to say going to shake someone's hand and they give you the fist bump. Ooh. And then you switch to the fist bump and they switch to the shaking hand. And then you both go, oop.
It's the switch. Because like if you just commit to the fist bump and they give you the turkey or something like that, then it's like, oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
But if you both
like if you switch, it's like, oop.
Yep. No, what I really hate is when they're like, let's do that again. No, we're not doing that again. We had our one shot.
It's not that important.
Or also in the same family is when you go, or vice versa, the handshake hug. Like you go in for a handshake, they go in for a hug. Happened to me a lot this weekend because I'm meeting a lot of Taylor's family friends, and they feel like they know me because they've seen pictures for 4 or 5 years. They've heard about me from her parents, whatever. I don't know who they are. So I would go up for a handshake to introduce myself, and they're like, come over here. I'm like, I don't even know you. And I'm not even like against hugging. I don't mind hugging. But I'm a big, not a handshake, a big that thing, this thing right here, and then dapping each other up. And then, like the half hug.
It's like a
bro hug.
A hand hug and a half hug.
Yes. Yeah. And that's guy on guy. I'll never do that to a girl. That's weird to do on a girl. What?
Didn't like that
one. Why did you have to say guy on guy?
Well, it is guy on guy. Okay. Guy on guy touching.
You know, like when there's like a funny thing, like funny things you can do, like when someone fist bumps you, you could give them the snail where you put your fingers underneath their fist bump.
What was the one you said the other day?
I have it. Do y'all have any go-to ones?
No, I just know turkey.
There's the turkey. My go-to one is the toilet paper. So it's like a fist bump, and then you do like the longhorns like that, and so it looks like toilet paper.
Do a fist bump to me. This is my favorite. A fist bump.
Oh, a fist bump.
Go Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I got someone this weekend with a snail. So
I will never get tired of doing the high five to kids and then too slow Joe.
Yeah.
I do that to Prosper, and there's nothing more disrespectful, so that's why you can't do it to an adult. But to a kid any kid under the age of 10, if you do the too slow Joe, like ultimate confidence builder for you, and they just feel terrible about themselves. And one last thing I will say about the guy on guy dapping is that you got to make sure that if you lean with the shoulders, don't lean with the lower body.
Yeah, no hips.
The hips can't touch.
Yeah,
if guy on guy hips touch, gets weird. Then it's really guy on guy.
Yeah. In this case, hips do lie.
The hips do lie in this one. Okay. My first pick is when you introduce yourself to someone that you've already met. I did that this weekend.
That's terrible.
I did that this weekend. And he definitely doesn't listen to this podcast, so it's not that big of a deal. But one time, Taylor's friend was in town, and we went to the bar and watched the St. Louis Blues were in the Stanley Cup Finals, and he's from St. Louis, big Blues fan, or he has ties there or something. And we watched the game, had a great time. He was super cool. Had dinner, had some beers, and I never saw him again. Well, then now he lives in San Diego, and so he came to the engagement party, and I had been meeting everyone, and I've got my social hat on, so I'm just introducing. I don't know anyone here besides a couple people that I've met before. So Taylor was talking to this couple, and I walk over there. I was like, "Hey, man, what's up? My name's Hayden." And he goes, you could tell in his eyes immediately. He said, "Mason." And I was like, "Oh, no." I immediately caught myself, and I immediately knew, but I felt like such an idiot.
Yeah, that's awkward.
And I was like, at the end of the night, I told Taylor, we were kind of decompressing after just all that, and I said, "Man, I was batting 1,000. I was all your parents' friends I was doing well with, talking, mingling, and then just that. It was like a strikeout, It was terrible." So that's a bad one.
All right. My first one is when you're walking out of a bathroom stall and you make contact with the next person that's going in there.
Worse.
Just always awkward.
Worse if you went number 2.
Yeah. That's what I was insinuating.
Have y'all ever been in the handicap stall and had someone in a wheelchair roll up and just be waiting on you?
I didn't know that actually happened in real life. I thought that was just in TV shows.
I saw it. I've never done it myself, but I saw it happen one time. It's like out of a Curb Your Enthusiasm or like Seinfeld episode. But yeah, I saw it happen one time. I felt so bad for that dude in there.
What's even worse than that is making eye contact through the crack in the stall door. That's weird.
Yeah.
That is
Like if
weird.
people are looking for it
Yeah.
and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's awkward. All right, what you got, Ben?
All right. Number 2 is going to be, Brian actually took my number 2.
About going number 2.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be when you're like, it's especially, I feel like it happens in a crowded place, but when you walk towards someone and you're kind of on the same path and then you both move to get out of the way at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to your hinge or high five fist bump thing where you're like, oh, but instead it's just like,
Yep.
and you just keep going, and it's like, who's going to be back down? And you
Same
just keep
noise is
going.
made.
That's why it's like think
It's
about it
always
like think about it like driving though. My dad told me this once. If everyone just goes to the right, they go to the right, they're passing you. You go to the right, we're both good, you know. But everybody, so remember that. Go to the right, and if they go to their left and y'all both go the same way because you're opposite of each other, that's on them. It's like a road. Just go to the right.
That's fair.
I don't get that. Say that again.
You and I are passing each other. If you go to your right and I go to my right, we both go the other way.
Oh yeah.
But if
that
you
makes
go to
sense.
your left, then we bump into each other.
Oh yeah. You can't.
So
go left.
here's, I love that, but the only issue is, what if you're at an airport and the bathroom's on the left and you're trying to sneak in?
We gotta judge. You gotta judge their pace, and yeah, that.
Do you
gets
just
tough.
make 3 rights and that makes a left?
I'll do a big wide
You
turn.
just circle.
You know what you do is if you were walking up to someone and you both go the same way, you dap them up, and that's the only time you actually can use hips. They will never do that again. Okay, what you
They
got?
won't
Park?
forget your name.
Texting the wrong person and then having to ask them how they're doing, because you can't just if you haven't seen him in a while, you gotta be like, some guy actually did that to me the other day. My buddy, not my buddy, I mean kind of my buddy. I haven't talked to him in like a year, and he goes, by the way, how you doing, man? I was like, don't try that now, it's fine.
What's also in that family is whenever you text someone happy birthday and you realize that the last time you talked to them was like 6 months ago when they texted
take
you
any
happy
of these
birthday.
other ones.
Oh, was that?
No, it wasn't. But
Yeah, you're right.
you
You're
always
right.
get mad at people.
You're
for
right.
doing
You're
that.
right. You're right. That's on me. Going up to a random person in the grocery store and calling them mom. Doesn't happen as much anymore, but did y'all ever do that?
I called like
Yeah.
some of my teachers' mom by accident
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Easy to do.
Like especially when it was like first thing in the morning and they're like telling you what to do, and it's like, okay, mom.
Yep.
I've
You're
never
not my
done
mom.
that.
I've done that in the grocery store before for sure whenever I was a kid.
All right, my next one is sitting in the wrong seat on a plane, and then the person comes up and says, "You're in my seat." It makes you feel dumb.
Also in
Awkward.
that same family, I know no one's gonna say it, so I'm gonna say it. Whenever you like the 4th or 5th inning of a baseball game, you're like, these seats suck. I'm gonna go get some better seats out there. You know, like they're not being used. I've seen them all game, and then someone comes to in like the 6th inning.
So the trick to that is while you're at the game, when the game starts, look up like Ticketmaster or whatever and see what
I've
seats
heard
haven't
about this.
sold, and then you know which seats
You
are
just
open.
buy those tickets too,
You know,
right?
you just
No,
go
you don't
sit in
even
the-
buy 'em.
You just
Yeah.
go sit in those seats.
I have done that before.
All right. My last pick is going to be the accidental Instagram like.
Ooh.
So it could be like you just followed someone and you're like looking through their profile or whatever just to see like whatever's on their profile, and then you just like an old photo. But what's even worse is with Instagram, you go to follow someone. They could have posted something like 3 days ago, but Instagram loves to show you their
Later.
content right away after you follow them. So you go and like it, so it seems like you were like going through their profile when you're not actually doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like you and Brian probably have to deal with that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Actually, just Brian, really.
That's probably true.
The only single guy here.
Oh well.
Your time's coming, buddy. Parker.
Most awkward moment number 3 is when you're at a 4-way stop, and then the person next to you goes, and they go, you go, and you go, no, you go, and you both go at the same time.
And you're both just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Another ope situation.
Yep,
That's
sure.
another up situation. I've decided on that
bunch of
a long time ago that you just got to be an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Just always go.
and you know what? I get honked at a lot, but a lot of times I'll pull up a little bit after them, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna go.
A lot of times you're just doing them a favor too, because then otherwise you're just living in this indecision.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just gonna make this decision for you.
Yeah.
I'm the alpha.
Because they're in the
You're
same
welcome.
situation you are. It's
Yep.
like, do I go? Do I not go?
Yep.
Yeah.
What-
Sometimes I'll like roll up and hit the brakes faster
So you
so
can
I
get
can go
there.
first. Like
Yeah.
I'm the alpha, you're the beta.
In your BMW, dirty little BMW.
gotta
Looking
get some
pissed off.
window
Hayden always
tint on
looks
that
so
thing.
pissed.
Sleep that out. What'd you say?
You got to get some window tint on that thing.
Dude, in the summer it's so bad.
Cooper just in the back.
About the time I was gonna buy a truck, gas prices went.
How many times
through the roof.
has Cooper been flipped off due to your incompetent driving, your alpha driving?
The other day,
Cooper just standing there like, what did I do?
dude. The other day, we actually talked about this on the podcast a little bit, vaguely, but not
Cooper is
specifically.
Hayden's beagle, by
Yeah.
the way, for those listening.
We were going. Yeah, why is Cooper just always in the back seat? Well, I was going home. It was when I was still living with Parker, so this is right around Christmas. I was like, dude, I am not feeling the holiday spirit. I saw 3 middle fingers on the drive home today, and he's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And I go, yeah, 2 of them. One of them was mine. Like I literally was like, well, yeah, there were 3. One of them came from my own finger, but I haven't flipped off anyone since then. So
Way to
feeling
go.
really
Getting
proud of
better.
myself. My last pick is when you clog someone else's toilet at their house, and there's not a plunger in the bathroom.
Man, that is actually the winner right there. That is the worst, especially when you're a kid.
And then you don't know what, if it's your toilet, you know how many flushes you can get away with before it starts flowing over. You're like, maybe if I give it another flush, it'll work. But someone else's toilet, you don't know what the power's like on it.
That's the situation where you hurry up and then you go out there and say, hey, someone clogged this toilet. Do you have another bathroom I can use?
Yeah, yeah.
That's genius. I think I told this story on the podcast, but the one time I clogged an upstairs toilet when I was a kid at a friend's house, it overflowed and started leaking through the ceiling. Was by far the most embarrassing.
That's just poor home building. That's on them. There's poop in the ceiling. That's on you, though.
Also, shooting BB guns at a friend's ranch when I was a kid, and it ricocheted and shattered his dad's windshield.
A BB?
Yeah.
Dang.
And so we had to drive 2.5 hours all the way back home with a wide open window, and it was just super loud the whole time. It was terrible.
We were talking about this week, and we were, telling stories from whenever Taylor and I were both little, and my dad was talking about how I broke this window in Clifton growing up with a baseball at there's an armory. So it's like back in the day, the military used to use it we had the armory in Clifton, and they used to use it to store like different military stuff. And then it's now since been decommissioned and no one uses it. But they were like, they would have fall fests and stuff there. And I threw a baseball right through the window. And my mom was like, was that Hayden or was that Curry? My dad was like, Curry couldn't throw a baseball through a window even if he tried. He didn't have the power. He's like, it was definitely Hayden. I feel like I've broken a few windows in my day.
Okay, well, one of the cameras stopped recording, so we're not going to have me and Ben video for that last part.
Okay, good. Well, no
one wants to see it anyways,
Yeah.
so.
No one's complaining about
You'll
that.
just see me yawning while Ben is talking.
So that's why the
What-
camera's on Hayden Parker.
We
this
could
whole
just
thing.
do pictures of us.
Yeah, let's just do a picture. Oh, actually,
Why don't
sorry.
we switch?
Every time they talk, it just
Why don't we
cuts to a
switch?
photo of you.
Y'all are you're about to do your answer?
Yeah.
Here, why don't you switch?
All right. Let's end it right here. Okay.
She got shocked.
My last most awkward moment is seeing someone in public you haven't responded to yet. And then you just kind of have to like halfway give an answer, and it's usually like a question they ask that you didn't want to answer or you don't know what you want to say, and then you see them in public and you kind of have to give some sort of response.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
that's
one.
it.
Okay.
That was a really good one, guys.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's probably some of
Any
our best
honorable
work.
mentions? Do we just have 1 minute left?
We're very low on
Okay.
time,
Yeah, no, we're good.
so
All
let's
right.
go home.
Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next week.
No one can see you, Hayden.
Eat your veggies.
They're way too close to the camera.
That's okay.